my channel, I just recently hit 10,000 subscribers and also 1 million lifetime views, and so I just wanted to say a huge thank you. I know subscriber milestones are a little arbitrary in the whole scheme of things, but I'm so happy being part of the Disney community here, and I've loved having this little space here on YouTube. As my way to say thank you for 10,000 subscribers, I did want to do a little giveaway, and then I also thought for this video to kind of make it an interesting video that I would do a Q&A. On my Instagram, I asked for questions, and I got quite a number. I'll try and get through as many as I can, and I've kind of grouped them into different categories like YouTube, pins, general Disney, and more personal. So hopefully that's kind of a way to get to better know myself, and then I will go over the giveaway information at the end. So I'm going to start with some questions I got related to YouTube. So when did you decide to make a YouTube channel? Why did you start a YouTube channel? And what made you decide to start a YouTube channel? So all pretty similar questions. So I made this specific channel back in 2008. I started regularly watching YouTube in 2007, 2008, and I know the only reason I made this channel was I'm pretty sure there were age-restricted videos where you could only see them if you were over 18, and so if you have an account and say you're over 18, then you can access those videos. So really since then, I had just been an avid YouTube watcher. I've seen so many things change with the platform over time, and you can find some older videos on my channel, but I started really making these type of videos beginning early 2017. So the first Disney video I have was a pin haul from Disneyland. That was the first time I had gone to Disneyland since growing up I had gone to Walt Disney World. And so it was fall of 2016 when my parents had kind of started to have the idea of planning to do a Disneyland trip, and it had been a really long time since I'd been to the parks, and I kind of delved back into the Disney community online. I started watching tons of videos from Everything Disney Pins, which unfortunately the sisters have kind of broken up and they've deleted all of the old videos. I also found a Disney Pins blog, and then I was also just watching park vloggers like Fresh Baked. I for a while had been kind of semi-interested in actually making my own YouTube videos because especially at that time I'd gotten really tired of a lot of people I had been following for years. A lot of the people who had gotten big in like 2013, 2014, they just had become so uninteresting and just kind of entitled. And so instead of just being a YouTube viewer, I thought, well, why don't I just kind of make my own videos? Since I had been a YouTube watcher for so long, I kind of knew the basics of what to do. It does definitely take a while to become comfortable with doing videos, but I find for me, it's a great way to have a creative outlet. Initially, it was just a way to be able to share different parts of my pin collection, but as somebody who loves Disney and loves YouTube, it was kind of the perfect melding of things to do. And I know there are a lot of people who are kind of interested in starting their own channel, and just so everybody knows, I have filmed every single video on this channel just using my iPhone. So I don't have any camera, I just have a free editing software. As long as you can make the visual and audio, hence why I have the clip-on mic sound good and look good, you really don't need anything more than your own ideas to make videos. Now I'm going to move on to some questions about pins. The first is, have you ever been to a trading event? So that is no. Since I do not live anywhere near the parks, I only get to visit very infrequently, so I have never been to any trading event either in terms of like the big annual yearly event at Epcot or any of the smaller semi-monthly events they have at both Disneyland and Disney World. I don't anticipate getting to a trading event anytime soon. The only trading event that would interest me probably would be the big annual Epcot event, and that would just be for the ability to trade on the boards. Like I talk about in a lot of my videos, I'm much more interested in collecting pins, and I focus just less on trading because I just find it's too expensive to be able to trade a lot of pins. But one day it definitely would be really cool to attend a trading event. Two related questions here. We have, what is your ultimate Grail pin, and what is your most desired pin on your ISO, or in search of? I'd have to say my ultimate Grail pin, I have to say, is a pin that I do have. So a Grail can be something that you do have or something that you really want. And it has to be my Mickey Mouse holding a mouse-shaped geode pin. It's such a rare pin. It is the absolute perfect pin for me. That always is going to be my Grail pin. But in terms of my most desired pin, or kind of Grail pin that's still on my ISO list, I would probably have to say would be the Nick Wilde PTD or Pin Trader Delight. I have wanted that pin since the day it came out. It was too expensive the day it came out for me, but then it's only like doubled, tripled, quadrupled in value, and it's just like slipping further and further away as time goes on. I just like never even see them for sale anymore. I love Zootopia so much. It is my primary pin collection, and that's a pin I really wish I could have, but I don't know if it will ever be possible. Then we have, what is your favorite mystery pin collection? I think that my favorite collection would have to be the World's Biggest Mouse Party pin that they released earlier this year. They did totally different sets for Disneyland and Disney World, and I got the ones from Disneyland because I liked those the most. And I'm putting this as my favorite mystery pin set because this is a set that I fully completed. I love how glittery they are. They're super nice and shiny. And I love how they depict Mickey Mouse as kind of different characters, or like with different attractions or lands. That set was also a limited release and was gone from the parks pretty quickly. Another question is, what is your total pin collection count? So at the moment, I don't really know. I haven't really updated my PinPics in a while, which kind of gives a full, reasonable count of how many pins you have in your collection. Last year, when we moved into this house and I was putting my collection back together, I did count every single pin. At that point, I think it was about 500 pins. So now I'd probably say it has to be around 600-ish, but I did just clear out a number of pins to put in my traders, so I'm not totally certain on that number, but somewhere in the 500 to 600 range. Two more kind of related questions. Do you have any non-Disney pins, and do you collect any pins outside of Disney? So the answer to that is yes. I do have a video on my channel showing all of my non-Disney pins. So what I like to collect are pins from other places that I visited. I started collecting Disney pins in 2003, and it was right around that time when I also started collecting pins of various places we went to on vacation. I think some of the earliest ones that I got were from Cooperstown, the Baseball Hall of Fame in New York State. And I really like pins as mementos and souvenirs, so that's why I really like to collect pins from places that I've been. But I don't collect any other like themed pins, like I don't collect any Harry Potter pins or other type fandom pins. I just like pins that have a sentimental tie and connection to me. Another question is there a pin you traded in the past but regret doing it now? I think to this question I can safely say no, but that's kind of only due to the fact that I don't trade too much. Since I focus so much on kind of collecting and getting the pins that I like to collect, I'm usually always okay with kind of the pins I have for trade and what I've traded away. I even have like traded or sold away some of the pins that I got on my like initial 2003 Disney trip, because those were pins where I don't even know why I got them then. They were just pins that I got to have. So even those technically had like a sentimental-ish value, but I don't really regret giving them away. But I think that is important, like with trading, is that if you are like really on the edge of like, do I hold on to this pin or trade it away? Like I really, really like it, you know, think about it. Because sometimes if you trade a pin away and you regret it, it can be really hard to get it back. Next we have, what made you get into pin trading? Again, for this question, I kind of have another video on my channel talking about this. It's called My Disney Pin Story. And so I talk about how I got into pins, again, starting back on my 2003 family trip to Disney World. I love souvenirs and little tchotchkes, and that was still when Disney pins and pin trading was pretty new. Every subsequent trip to Disney World, I would always get new pins as my main souvenirs. I've always loved to collect things, and so I think pins are kind of the perfect things to collect because they don't really take up a lot of space. It's not like if you're collecting mugs or something. But although I've been collecting pins for a long time, it really wasn't until 2016 that I found the online Disney pin community and was like, where has this been? I've missed out on so much. But it's fun to still be part of the community even if you can't get to the parks much. Just a few more pin questions. What are your favorite websites to buy Disney pins from? I feel like I just keep referencing other videos that I made, but I have a whole Disney pins online buying guide where I talk about a whole bunch of different websites and sellers on different platforms to get pins from. I tend to get most of my pins from eBay or people selling on the Facebook groups. So with pins, there's not necessarily like a specific website. The one website that I do use and love is mydisneyshop.com. They are personal shoppers at Walt Disney World, and they help pickups for limited edition pins. They are like the fastest, most secure shippers. They have amazing prices. So in terms of like a specific website, I really like mydisneyshop.com. And finally, for pins, are you planning any new designs for your fantasy pins? So I make some Disney inspired pins with my Desert Mouse pin shop. I haven't put out anything new in a while just because I am so busy. So I also make ears at Confectioneer Shop, and that takes up so much of my free time. And then I also make at least one video a week, and that takes several hours to film and edit. And then I'm also a full-time PhD student, which is, that is more than a full-time job in and of itself. So I do have ideas and designs for more pins. I just haven't had the time to actually like make them into a reality. We then have some general Disney questions. This is actually a pretty cool one. If you could create a new Disneyland ride, what would it be? I think a new ride at Disneyland definitely needs to be in Tomorrowland, because Tomorrowland is such like a lost, empty section. And I want a WALL-E ride there. I think WALL-E would be perfect for Tomorrowland because it is set in the future. WALL-E is such a beautiful movie, so it could even be something like Dark Ride-esque, or it could be kind of like an adventure where, like WALL-E and Eve, they're like flying through space with a fire extinguisher. So I want some WALL-E themed attraction in Tomorrowland. Next up is, which Disney park or resort that you haven't been to would you most like to visit? This is an easy question. I would definitely most like to visit Tokyo Disney Sea. From everything that I've heard from everybody, Tokyo Disney Sea is the most unique out of all the Disney parks. Just the depths of the theming there seems so cool. All of the food and general merchandise at Tokyo Disneyland just seems amazing. But Tokyo Disneyland, the theme park, is very much a clone of the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. So that's why Tokyo Disney Sea is the park I would most want to go to, because it's unlike anything you can find anywhere else. That kind of segues into the next question with, what's your favorite Disney park? I almost find this hard to answer now because it's been so long since I've been to Walt Disney World, and the parks there have changed so much. But Magic Kingdom was always by far my favorite of the parks there. Animal Kingdom actually would be the park that we would skip out on if we weren't doing all the parks. But now that it has Pandora and they've really kind of made it a full day park, Hollywood Studios now has Toy Story Land, and they're opening with their own Galaxy's Edge, and then Epcot is going through like a huge refurb. So I can't wait until I can get back to Walt Disney World and experience the parks there. But Magic Kingdom has always been my favorite there. I don't know if I could choose between Magic Kingdom and Disneyland Park, again just because it's been so long since I've been to Walt Disney World that I just have the fresh experiences from Disneyland and what it's like to be there, and it is such an intimate and nice park. The wonderful thing about Disneyland is all the attractions are so good. Pretty much all of the shared attractions are better at Disneyland, so I think I would have to have more freshly visited all the parks to be able to pick out a one pure favorite. Another question is, if you had the chance, which job would you have in Walt Disney World? For those who don't know, and I bet most don't know since this is one of my very, very early videos, I was actually accepted to the Disney College program at Walt Disney World, and I was accepted for a position in attractions. So I was this close to actually being able to live and work at Walt Disney World and, living the dream. But I had to choose between doing the Disney College program or going on to grad school with a PhD offer that I got. With the college program, I also was accepted for Fall Advantage, so that means I would have had to miss out on my undergrad graduation because we graduated like mid-June. So I had to turn down the college program. But if I were applying to the college program now, I definitely would have selected merchandise as my top pick for a job. When I applied, I did select attractions as my top choice, and I was given that. But I just love Disney merchandise so much that I think it'd be really cool to work in a merchandise-related role. We'll do one final Disney-related question, and that is, what are your top 5 Disneyland snacks? Number 1, obviously, is gonna be churros. I know the Disneyland churros are kind of a little bit overhyped, but that's because They really are the best churros that I've ever had. There really has to be something kind of different about them just because they really are so good. I'd say my next favorite snack would have to be the special Rice Krispie treats that are like Mickey shaped and on a stick. I love those, especially the ones that have like either M&Ms on top or are like peanut butter flavored. Those are super, super delicious. For 3, I would probably put Dole Whip. I know Dole Whip is another thing that people are either kind of like really in love with, or they're just like, oh, it's been overhyped, it's not that good. I really like Dole Whip because it is dairy free, so that means it's a nice, cool, refreshing treat that I can have, because I can't have like Mickey Premium ice cream bars or any of the more special ice cream things. So it's really nice to have something kind of cold and, you know, nice and creamy and refreshing and still have it be dairy free. Number 4 on my list would probably have to be the special pretzel rods that they make. So they're kind of in a similar vein to the Rice Krispie treats, where they'll, you know, coat them in different types of candies and, you know, with some peanut butter and whatnot. I really like those because I think it's a perfect combination of a little bit of sweet and salty, because it's definitely easy to get a sugar overload, but they're also kind of like just a pretzel. So that's why they're a little lower on the list. And then 5, I'm actually kind of putting as a wild card and saying anything that is like a specialty seasonal item there. So frequently at like all of the US Disney parks, they're coming out with really cool limited time snacks or snacks that are geared toward special events. So you kind of never know what those might be. You don't know how long they might be around for. But I think it's cool to always be able to take advantage of anything that is special, new there in the parks. Finally, we just have a few personal related questions. So what is the best thing about being a geologist? I think the best thing about being a geologist is the perspective that it gives you. Once you kind of get in the geological mindset, you just see so many fascinating things about the Earth. The Earth has such an immensely long history. It kind of puts in better perspective where we are today and kind of outlook for the future. And there's just so many cool things about Earth's history that I just frequently have my mind blown, like, whoa, that is awesome. Next questions are, do you want to be a professor after grad school? And do colleagues know you love Disney? So what I found that I love most is I really like the teaching and education outreach side of things. So I wouldn't want to be a professor at like a research university where the focus is just on research and writing grants. I could definitely see being a professor at like a smaller liberal arts school where you get the teaching focus, but I'm really interested in something where I can kind of share and convey my science with others. And yes, people in my department really know that I like Disney. Both of my advisors, since I'm co-advised, know about my Disney obsession. One actually just went to Disneyland with their family, and so we were talking about that, and they know about the ears I make and how just kind of obsessed I am. And then my other advisor knows about this channel because I have some geology of Disney videos on this channel that I've made. And so I've shared those, and then obviously all of my other videos come up, and he said those would just continue to come up in his recommended. So yes, everybody knows that I am very much into Disney. So I know that's not all the questions that I got, but I did try and go through as many as I could in the time being. But now we can talk about the little giveaway. So I wanted to include a few things in this giveaway as best I can, saying thank you to those who actually take the time to subscribe and watch my videos. So first, I wanted to include these 3 4-pin Disney Parks Flair sets. If you saw my outlet haul video, you know I got these at the outlet for a really good price. And so I wanted to kind of pass them along, pass forward the deals, because I know a lot of people don't live near the outlets and don't have access to that. So I thought these are great to be able to use. You can use them as trader pins, but also they are really nice to keep. There's a 4-pin set related to Minnie Mouse, a matching set with Mickey Mouse icons, and then finally a set related to the Little Mermaid. Because I am going to Disneyland in only a few weeks, I wanted to throw in this Disneyland pin and lanyard. So this pin and lanyard set, you can only get it by staying on property at one of the Disneyland hotels. Next, I wanted to include one of each of the fantasy pins that I've made so far. The first pin is the first pin that I made, this mouse cactus pin. I am entirely sold out of these, so if you're looking for one of these still, this is the only way to get this pin. I have my cocoa-inspired papel picado as recuérdame pins. I have one in red and blue. There is my mouse-shaped geode pin, and this is all with just really sparkly glitter. And then finally my Churroland pin because I really love churros. And then the last item that I'm including in my giveaway is your choice of any of the ears that I make at my confection ear shop page. So I make all kind of sweets and foodie related ears, churro ears, ice cream ears, lollipop ears. You can view everything that I make at the page linked in the description, and so you will get your choice of any one of these pair of ears. You can also totally customize them, so if you'd like a different flavor of churro, a different flavor of donut, I can do that too. So in total, that is 18 pins and 1 pair of ears. To enter this giveaway, you of course have to be subscribed to my channel. Please do like this video and then leave a comment with an upcoming Disney thing that you're most looking forward to. So that can be if you're looking forward to a trip to the parks, if you're looking forward to a new Disney movie coming out, if you're looking forward to a new land or attraction opening sometime. It can be anything that you're looking forward to in the world of Disney. For me, obviously, I am most looking forward to my Disneyland trip in June. This giveaway will stay open for 1 week, so you'll have from today until May 22nd to enter. So the evening of May 22nd, I'll draw a winner just randomly through the comments, and I'll reply to that comment, and if that person can then message me for shipping and figuring out ear info, that'll be great. This giveaway is open internationally, but please do note that I do not ship my lollipop ears internationally. And if you are under the age of 18, please do make sure you have your parents' permission to enter. So again, just a really big thank you for supporting my channel. Consistently making videos for so long now, it does take a lot of work, but I really am happy to see that people do seem to like the videos and are still watching them. So I'm really happy and excited to keep making them. But thanks for watching!